Fir Park, Cappielow, new Bayview Stadium and Stair Park. Is that where the league titles are going to be finishing in the Spfl this season? Wait and find out. Lads, welcome back to another video, and this one is going to be me chatting about sort of where I think the league titles are going to be finishing this season. And for a lot of people watching, you might already kind of know what I'm going to say, but at the end of the day, it is worth discussing because there is a couple of leagues that are kind of up in the air a bit. Teams coming up behind the favourites to win each division and causing a couple of issues. There is one league in particular that I think is done and dusted at this point, and if you've watched a couple of the previous videos then you'll know which one I'm talking about in particular. However, that does not stop speculation and discussion around these topics, so let's get into it, starting off with Scottish League 2. Now at the moment, Queen's Park sit top of Scottish League 2 on 23 points, with Stranraer, Elgin and Stirling Albion on 18 points, 5 points behind them clearly. And you'd think that would be a gap that was insurmountable really, considering Queen's Park's squad, the amount of goals they're conceding, very minimal of course, and just how strong their squad is and how it's going to pull them through and get them up into League 1. And to be honest, I don't really have many qualms with that. I do think that the Scottish League 2 title will end up at Hampden Park or the ground just next to that. Of course, I think this is the last season that Queen's Park will officially play at Hampden Park, so it will end up at Hampden Park come May until they move to their new stadium next season, I believe. Don't get it twisted that any of the teams below them, such as Elgin, Stranraer and Stirling Albion, can't cause them a couple of issues, because these teams have been performing well, and it's just because of Queen's Park's brilliant form this season and the fact they've got the strongest team in the division. You can't really argue with that fact, and ultimately these teams are going to fall foul of not being able to get a promotion under their belts straight away, like automatic promotion, because of that factor. Stranraer, for example, playing fantastically on brilliant form, the same as Stirling Albion, and Elgin City have been a team that have always been in the promotion playoff challenge in the last few seasons, and I've never quite made it there. I hope that one of them this season does make it there at the expense of a League 1 side. Obviously, whoever that ends up being, we'll wait and see come May, but I do think that one of these teams in League 2 will be strong enough to make it up into League 1, and I wouldn't be too displeased with it being any of the current three that are in the promotion playoff places, because I think they all have been there on their merit and they've played well and they've got a decent squad to go up into League 1 and actually probably challenge for mid-table to promotion playoff places in that league once some of the big boys like Falkirk, Partick and Cove Rangers, who have obviously got money behind them, will leave that division. So with Queen's Park moving up into League 1 next season, in my opinion, I think the League 1 title from this season will end up at the Falkirk Stadium. Now, this one has been put up in the air a wee bit. It was looking like a more foregone conclusion that Falkirk were going to go on and win the league when they had like a 6 or 7 point gap at one point in recent weeks, but they've lost a couple of games and now I think it's only 2 points between them and Cove. And when you consider that Cove Rangers actually lost a few games in recent weeks, if they'd just won those, kept up their very good run of form since coming into the SPFL a few seasons ago, they'd be ahead of Falkirk right now, and it'd be by a couple of points at least. So they really have kind of shot themselves in the foot, Cove Rangers, whilst also keeping themselves still in the race. As I said, only 2 points separating the sides, with Falkirk I think still to travel to Cove Rangers and play a game. So Falkirk have really kind of shot themselves in the foot. I had them as certain favourites and I still think they will go on to lift the league title. However, they are kind of asking a couple of questions about it, considering their recent form, dropping points that they really shouldn't be. Partick Thistle fans will be wondering why I'm not choosing them to be lifting the league title, and simply inconsistency. That is just the only reason why. You've got teams like Airdrieonians and Cove Rangers who are just simply outperforming you at this point, and I don't see any reason for Partick to be jumping ahead of those teams by a significant points gap anytime soon, and certainly not clawing back the amount of points gap there is between them and Falkirk at the very summit of the league. Oh, and just to confirm that I do think that one of the teams in the League 1 promotion playoffs will actually be able to beat a Championship relegation playoff place team, whether that be the likes of Alloa, Arbroath, Queen of the South, etc. I think one of these teams will actually have enough as well to get up into the Championship. But as I said, into the Championship itself, and it's a league that I've got massive interest in the promotion battle for this one. I've always said that I think the title will end up at Tynecastle, and I'm not going to deviate from that. However, We saw the result against Dundee just recently, obviously 3-1 at Dens Park, and we've seen that Hearts have had their issues, certainly, away from home. Losing to Dunfermline, of course, the Pars, 2-1 at East End Park at the end of November, and also losing to Alloa in the League Cup. Now, obviously, they've not lost to Alloa in the league just yet, but Robbie Nielsen's always had a bit of an issue with away games rather than his home games. Even at Dundee United, he certainly had an issue with going away to places like Alloa. So I'm yet to see if Hearts can really push on and get a surmountable lead at the top of the Championship without having slip-ups that cost them points and see teams gain back ground. But I do think the title will be going to Tynecastle one way or another. Outside of that, the promotion playoffs, I'm hoping that Dunfermline are a part of it. I think we've got a strong case to be a part of it coming into the season, especially with it being a shorter season. Gives us that advantage considering the position we're in right now, where we're, I think, 4 or 5 points clear of dropping out of the promotion playoffs. It would take quite the drop in form overall for us to really drop out and not be seen as any type of challengers for those spots. Dundee can be said the same of. They got a really good result against Hearts and they're deserving of their place in the promotion playoffs at the moment. And then I think, in my opinion, it's going to be a battle for that 4th place spot. But it's probably the most irrelevant fight in history because no team that has finished that low in the Championship promotion playoff places has ever been promoted. So I'm hoping for my sake that Dunfermline finish second and then we can go up via that route because I really want us to get promoted this season. I think we're going to merit it. I think we're going to play really well for the entirety of the season. It will be a bit of a nitty-gritty battle between us and Dundee, I think, considering the recent uptake in form. But I hope we can do it. On the Pars. And now up into the Premiership, and I think this is the most clean-cut conversation that I'm going to have because I've already said it in a couple of other videos. The title is going to Ibrox. After that derby win that they had just recently, 1-0 at Ibrox Stadium, I mean, Celtic dominated the full first half and did not take advantage, did not take the opportunity that they had to put any sort of pressure on Rangers, and it wouldn't have been a hell of a lot of pressure because it would have still been like, what, a 13-point gap or something like that, but it would have asked that question, which hasn't been asked at Rangers pretty much all season, and Celtic have just failed to provide any sort of threat to their local rivals at this point in the season, or throughout the season at all, really. The title is going to Ibrox, in my opinion. It's going to stop 10 in a row. It's going to give Rangers their 55, depending on what you think on that situation. I'm just going to say that for the sake of it. I don't really care either way. But yeah, I think the title's going to Rangers this season, and it'll be interesting to see, once football hopefully gets back to a bit of normality next season, if they can continue it when fans do indeed return. Because I do think that has actually played a massive part against some teams and for some teams this season. But that's it for this video, guys. Cheers for watching. If you did enjoy it, please go a like. Comment below where you think each individual league title is going come the end of May, and subscribe for more of this type of content. And until the next video, I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.